if we were to ensure that there is greater understanding of the law, do we gain the respect? And I think it was you, Senator Coghill, that said that basically Alaska and ANILCA is being disrespected. Is it disrespect because they don't know? We've just had too much separation of time? Or is it knowing disregard of the law? Governor?
Senator Murkowski, I'm afraid some know it very well. And they're acting as though it either didn't exist or it existed for a different purpose. I'd like to think it's an innocent error on some people's part in the agencies, but I don't think that's the case. The further you get away from the statements that President Carter made at the signing, the more has been that has been dimmed over time, unfortunately, and people don't go back and look at what the original intent, the original discussion was, and the deal. A good friend of mine, former Attorney General Charlie Cole, always says, here's the deal. And the deal was that we would get, it was a balance. It truly was a balance. We got something out of that legislation, and that was the intent. That was the clear intent. But we have not gotten the deal. And so I think there are those that ignore it for whatever reason that they want to. The concern I have is with 62% of Alaska lands controlled by the federal ownership, 66% of our parkland, the nation's parks are in Alaska. When a national law is passed, it impacts us disproportionately because of the sheer volume of our land that is federally regulated, federally owned. So ANILCA was to sort of set us aside, so say here's a different deal in Alaska for a number of reasons. Number one is because of the statehood compact. Number two, we are supposed to live off our resources. So it was created to do a set aside, so we have sort of a different deal. We haven't gotten that, and so those have come in. Some have come in and said openly, how can we get more? How can we ignore that no more clause, and how can we get more in the way of set-asides? And that wasn't what the deal was. So I don't think it's for lack of knowledge. I think that some have plenty of knowledge of how the law is supposed to work, but it's interpreted to their own particular mission, and that has not been healthy for the economy of Alaska.